Hey everybody, Chuck with Top Rep Aces. I want to do a quick couple of minutes with you with something that has absolutely exploded this week. It's funny, I was trained on identity versus role about 20 years ago, and I did a training inside of Top Rep Aces, and it has absolutely exploded. I've gotten so many emails and text messages and phone calls based just on the identity versus role training that we did this week. So I want to bring it to you in a nutshell. This is an hour-long training, but this is something that I can bring to you very, very quickly. Now, identity versus your role. Now, so your identity it's just your self-worth, your ego, your self-concept. It's who you are. And then your role, you have a role as a father, as a husband, a sales rep, a business owner. When you were a kid, maybe it was a basketball player, a football player. It is your role that you are in at that moment. So when you're looking at your identity versus your role. Now, when you were kids, and let's say that you had a basketball game and you didn't do so well. Maybe you lost the game, or maybe you won the game, but you didn't play very well. And you're there kicking your can because you lost, you didn't play very well. And you took your role as a basketball player and you put it into your identity. So now your self-worth is way down here. You let your role affect your identity and your self-worth. And that should never, ever happen. Because of the fact that you failed in your role should not affect your identity. So it should be the other way around. So if you fail in your role, your identity, you still feel good about yourself. You know that you are a good basketball player. You know that you're a good father, a good husband, or maybe even a top rep, but you didn't sell that job. That's okay. It should not affect your self-worth. It should not affect your self-esteem. If you lost that basketball game, you know how good you are. It should not affect that you are a great basketball player. And so your identity should reflect onto your role. And this is how this works. And this has been going on for quite some time. This is not a new concept, but it may be new for you. Top reps that we have been working with all over the country have started to see this, and their jobs, their careers are being transformed, because before, when they didn't sell a job, it would affect them. It would affect the rest of the day. And let's just say that the first job that they went to, the first appointment that they went to, they got kicked out of the house. I don't care that maybe they were the nicest people in the world. They didn't want their stuff, their product, and before you know it, it affects that sales rep, and it shouldn't. And it's going to affect that sales rep for the rest of the day. That means that his role affected his identity. But if he understood identity versus role, he's going to use his identity versus the role. So he didn't make the sale. That's okay. He knows that he's a top rep. He knows that he's got 50% closing. And so therefore his identity is still intact. And so that is identity versus role. Now you need to also understand what a comfort zone is. So your identity rating, when you look at your rating as your self-esteem, your self-worth, it's from a 0 to 10. So 0 to 3, these are very poor performers. We also like to call them losers. I don't like to call anybody losers. And then you get your 4 to 6, and these are your good enoughers. These are your parking lot reps. They literally just watch everybody else go by. And this is 90% of our industry are the good enoughers. They do just good enough to get a certain pay. They're okay with $100,000. That's good enough for them. Once they hit that 100,000, they might as well go golfing. So therefore, you have your winners, and these are people that are, they're good at taking calculated risks, but they like the journey. These are the people from a 7 to 10 rating with the when you're looking at your identity rating. They love the journey more than they like the result. And you should. If you like the result more than you like the journey, you are good enough. That means you hit that result and you stop. But for a winner, they like that journey more than they like the result, and it's always just fun. They could care less what that score says. They could care less that, they're wanting to hit 100,000. They're already at 200,000 and they're still hitting it hard because they like the journey. That is what a winner is. And so when you're looking at that identity scale, the 0 to 3 poor performers, 4 to 6, you have your good enoughers, and 7 to 10, you have your winners. So on that scale, when you wake up in the morning, you have to determine who you're going to be that day. Am I going to be a good enough, or am I going to be a winner? Hopefully you're never going to be in the poor performer, the 0 to 3. But I like to pick that 9, 8, 9, 10. I'm always going to be a winner. I wouldn't be where I am today unless I was a winner. And so therefore, if I'm at an 8, then that means that my role is going to be a 7 or a 9. So if I'm at an 8, that means I'm going to be a 7 or a 9. I'm still a winner all the way around. But that is what we like to call our comfort zone. Now, let's just say that your comfort zone, or you wake up and you're at a 5, and you tend to be about a 5 or a 6. Like I said, 90% of people in our home services industry is inside that good enougher. So when they wake up, they tend to be in that 4 to 7 or 4 to 8, 4 to 6. Sorry. And so therefore, if they wake up and they're at a 5, then their comfort zone around that rating is going to be a 4 to a 6. That's their comfort zone. Here's where this comes in. Let's just say that your role goes up to a 7 or 8. Because you chose that 5, that comfort or that role is going to come back down to where you're in that good enougher. So again, that role can never be more than one step above where your identity rating is. So if you're going to be in that good enougher, your role is never going to be up here. You might come in and hit it hard, but before you know it, because your identity's down here, it will pull it back down into its comfort zone. And this is what I'm talking about. Let's just say that there's a guy out there that he's used to $5,000 a month in commission. That's not a lot of money, but let's just say he's used to $5,000 a month in commission. And let's just say in January, the first 2 weeks in January, he hits $11,000 in just 2 weeks. $11,000. That's 2 months worth of commissions, but he did it in 2 weeks. Now you might say, man, he's going to crush it over the next 2 months. Man, he's crushing his commissions. You might say that. What I'm going to tell you is because of his comfort zone and because he may be a good enougher, he's going to hit that. And what's going to happen, and I'm going to tell you, you may be one of these people, and this story may resonate with you. Once he hits that, he's flush with money. He's going golfing. He's going fishing. He's going whatever is not to do with his job, his career, the thing that he loves to do. So he's off to go do something else. So he went straight up. The next month, he's coming straight back down, right into February. And so therefore, he is that roller coaster. You might have heard about these roller coaster sales reps. If you're one of them, you, my friend, are a good enougher. And you need to see that. It's okay. Just like AA, the biggest part of it is understanding you have a problem. You need to see that and understand that good enough, nothing's ever good enough for me. I think it was Winston Churchill, when he was on his deathbed, they said, they asked him, they says, how much is enough? And he says, just a little bit more. And that is how you become a top rep.